You have more energy today?
What?
You have more energy today.
You were the one without energy.
I don't know, look back at that, and I think you were coasting. You were running on fumes there.
Me?
I was holding that shit together.
Whatever, Kettle.
Like a...
Alright. Welcome to Donation Day.
Yes.
And
how many?
We got 5. And I'm kind of looking forward to all 5 of them.
Are all of them very obscure?
Yes.
Or kind of obscure?
They're all obscure.
Super obscure, okay.
That's what Donation Day is for.
I see a
This one is
Canadian
from
leaf here.
Francis and Norma.
Francis and Norma, you magnificent bastards!
Now they left a note.
Okay.
You ready for their notes?
Stock and barrel.
Yeah, here. You read the note, I'll pour.
Hey Rex and Daniel, we're sending you guys a very limited, only available in Canada, Canadian whiskey. This proves a theory. They hoard
Yeah, they hoard the
whiskeys.
good stuff.
Well, I don't know if it's good, but they hoard certain whiskeys.
Yeah.
This is one of the better ones
Okay.
from Stock and Barrel.
Which is a very famous smaller distillery.
Stock, spelled S-T-A-L-K. Okay. A special blend to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday last year. We're sorry in advance if you still find it dolphin smooth.
Now, these guys are just award-winning all over the place. Like, Distiller of the Year,
Yeah.
Whiskeys of the Year, all kinds of, from all over the world. They don't call themselves craft, but they're a small distillery. And this
This is a nice nose.
is done in a more traditional, not typical, but traditional in Canada style, where you're aging whiskey separately and then blending them together after the fact, instead of blending as a mash bill.
Okay.
Right, so making all corn, all rye, all malt, and then mix them together instead of a percentage malt, corn, rye.
Okay, so I'm getting some maltiness on here.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of malt.
Yeah.
There's corn, and there's rye.
It's 50% alcohol.
Yeah. So this is Barry Stein and Barry Bernstein, Barry and Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Started production in March 2009.
You said malt and rye? It's barley and rye?
I think it's all 3.
Okay.
It's barley, rye, and corn.
And corn. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know how
So
much?
it's a typical mash bill, but I think it's more malt than it is corn and rye.
Do we know how much rye? Because here's the
No.
thing. I was getting that rye spice on the nose, and it almost convinced me that the maltiness is not maltiness, it's something different. But
No, it's malt.
there's this combination here.
So I'm guessing it's malt, rye, and then corn, but I honestly have no idea, and I haven't tasted this before, so
Right.
I'm just going off of the nose.
So a nice foundation of
Vanilla
malt.
rye.
A nice foundation of that malty, the maltiness in there, and then there's the rice spice that's second for me. The corn, I'm not getting like the classic
Wait till you
dusty,
taste it.
dusty corn.
That's
note
where it shows up for
on
me.
the nose.
Yeah.
Okay. On the
Corn
taste.
shows up in the taste for me. It reminds me of a rye heading towards the direction of Michter's American on the nose.
Oh, it's nice.
Because remember, used cask and things like that.
Wow. So I think the corn is presenting for me as a vanillaed cranberry maraschino cherry. Vanillaed cranberry maraschino cherry.
Yeah,
That's
because
nice.
it really is like a berry cream combo.
Yeah.
But then there's a little bit of spiciness to it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the rye.
It lingers. The lingering taste is a slight spice.
This doesn't taste ancient, like it's
No.
super, super old,
No, but it tastes,
but it doesn't taste too young.
and it doesn't taste fractured.
No, it doesn't. No, it seems like they got right up to the point where, yeah, this is nice. These are the kinds of flavors, though.
I like this journey. Because even though it feels like one thing, it does kind of travel.
No, it does. It absolutely does.
It sort of goes big and bold, thins out a little bit, and then the aftertaste goes back to dry and spice.
Do we have a reference point for how long they're usually aging whiskeys in Canada?
Well, at least 3 years to legally be called whiskey.
I'm
but
saying, so, because in the States, it's very regional. In certain parts of the country, you can only age things for like a couple, maybe a few years
No, we
before
don't.
it starts to get too much. In the colder climates, it often takes a bit longer, like Scotland, Ireland, a bit longer for those flavors to really make their way into the whiskey juices.
All we know is this is 5+ year old whiskey.
Okay.
That formed the base of it anyway.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
See, if there was more stuff like that we got,
Canada!
Canada would share, then Canada would... I'd drink more Canada.
Are these the questions you picked
No,
up?
there's no question.
There's no question.
Donation Day.
Oh.
It's like you've never done this before.
Well, you gotta be like Johnny on the spot here.
This is from Chris Smallwood.
Chris Malt. This guy is very active.
Yeah.
And he signed my scoot.
Yes, he did. I see it, and pretty predominant.
Because on the launch party, I just basically parked the scoot, right where we're doing the bigger part of the day. Mm-hmm. Parked it right there, and I put a Sharpie on the seat, and I just walked away.
Just to see what would happen.
And it's covered in signatures.
Yeah,
SMALLWOOD. If I remember right, he is right at the headlight, and it says Chris Smallwood. I think I remember this right, and they put like on either side. All right, so Chris Smallwood, you magnificent bastard.
Now this is exciting, as far as interesting.
Yeah.
This is called Tanner Creek, made by Hoosiers for Hoosiers.
Okay.
So where's the Hoosiers?
Is this Iowa?
No.
Ohio?
Jeez, it's Indiana.
Indiana? I don't know. They're all the same up there with their corn shucking ways.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Said the redneck from Oklahoma and Texas.
Totally.
Right?
This is MGP.
Wow.
An MGP release.
Right.
And what I mean is this isn't a distillery that bought MGP. I mean, this is an MGP whiskey released by MGP as their own whiskey.
What's with Tanner Creek?
Tanner Creek is the brand name they released it under. There's a whole story about Tanner Creek, right? But this is actual an MGP release from MGP.
It smells amazing.
Because MGP makes great whiskey. Now, here's the thing. It's called, notice, blended bourbon whiskey. Now, what that means is that it's a mix of bourbons and light whiskey.
Brown sugar, cinnamon, and then a Fuji apple on the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a little bit musty.
Oh, and then, man, all right, this is going to sound crazy. There's almost a black licorice note.
Yeah, but I was going to say it's leaning into amaretto right now for me.
Amaretto?
Behind the black licorice is like an amaretto pound cake.
I can imagine amaretto, but at first blush, it came across as black licorice.
Yeah, so do you know what? So light whiskey is defined in the TTB code as a whiskey distilled between 160 and 180.
Okay.
And then aged in either used or uncharred oak.
Okay.
So they took that and they mixed it with bourbon.
That's nice. It doesn't go...
The smell's more interesting than the taste.
It does. It doesn't go hard, fast, and deep. It just doesn't go there. But the taste is nice. The nose is very nice.
The nose is really, really great.
So I think what you're saying about the light whiskey, I think they probably blended out of the taste a lot of the stuff that shows up more prominently on the nose because they're blending it with, you said a thing that I was...
Bourbon and light whiskey.
Light whiskey. And light whiskey can be categorized as it's neutral grain spirits. I don't know. What is light whiskey?
I just explained it. They don't need to hear it again. But I just went into it in high detail.
Look, this has become clear. The moments I say, I'm sorry I wasn't listening, we always get comments from people saying it's okay, Rex, but I wasn't listening either.
That's not true. Not always.
There's fully 80%.
You get
80% of the people. 80% of the people in the comments say I wasn't listening.
All right, pop quiz.
Appreciate.
Hit pause, don't rewind. Write down what light whiskey is.
You're gonna have like
unpause.
Like 3 people who know.
Unpause. If you got it, Rex will send you a free whiskey.
But without rewinding, only put the comment if you learned it from Daniel. Not if you already knew. If you learned it from Daniel. Because I'm saying...
And Rex will send you a free whiskey.
I'm saying there's like the 11 to 15 second attention span.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I'm opting out. I have much more interesting things right here. So it does taste like it's thinned out a bit on the taste. Super nice nose. But it's nice. It's good.
On the taste, to me, you get all of that spice and black licorice you were first talking about.
Yeah.
And then it starts to sweeten into honey and cherry, and then it just vanishes completely. And so you know what it is? It's like the fade out on a song. Mm-hmm. Like the song goes, yeah, big ending, and then instead of they can't figure out how to end the song, and so they just keep rocking while the volume gets turned down.
I always imagine those songs. Basically, this moment where the guy is like rocking out, and then he's just,
I don't really know how to. Yeah, totally. And we're done here. The funny thing about that is that it's really hard to end those songs in a live concert. I've been around bands who try to end by
softer and softer.
Yes, I've been around bands who try to end by getting quieter and quieter. All right, we're moving on to the Gael.
The Gael.
JJ Corry, a gift from Timothy Todd, an Earl.
Timothy Todd, you magnificent bastard.
All right, Todd.
Irish whiskey.
I'm kind of excited about this one.
Timothy Todd, you said.
Timothy Todd.
Timothy Todd, you said.
So this is...
Now, hold on, Danny. This is already the finest hand-selected and blended.
Yeah.
It's the finest.
You want to know how not a joke this is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, this is the real deal. And I think we may actually have another JJ Corry up here that we could... No, it's not a locked cabinet because it's so rare. Okay, so here's the thing. This is a hand-selected... named after J.J. Corry, who was a merchant who used to create a blended Irish whiskey for his customers.
Yes.
And it was pretty famous.
Yes.
He was an inventor.
Yes.
He was just an all-around kind of cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
And they named it after... This is on their farm. Okay, they did not make this. And they say on their website, these guys are like Compass box level transparency.
Oh.
Yes, they say on their website, we didn't make this. We sourced it to try to create what we hope to becomes the flavor of our house blend.
So, classic Irish on the nose.
This is a mix.
Getting a light dusting of cinnamon and then the buttery sugar cookie.
Okay, get this. Little 40%.
It's a light cinnamon. It's not a dominant cinnamon. It's more of a brown sugar.
See, I'm getting more lemon.
Lemon?
Like lemon frosting.
I'm not getting any lemon.
Like the lemon bread.
Like lemon,
at Starbucks.
Bready. Okay, bready with a little trace of lemon through there. All right. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, the taste has some really fruity notes in there. Like pear.
Oh, the pear! Super perfumey pear.
Yeah.
That is... You should eat more pears so you can... Because you rarely eat pears.
This is one of the best Irish whiskeys I've had in a while.
Very ripe, aromatic pear.
Yeah, it's almost like... You remember when you got the fruit cups when you were a kid that were basically just a pile of corn sugar with slices of fruit floating in it? Mm-hmm. It reminds me of those fruit cups.
The fruit cocktails.
Yeah. In a can, peel the top off, just eat sugar.
There's enough sugar to keep it good for 100 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is 40% 7-year-old whiskey, grain whiskey. 27.5% 11-year-old malt whiskey.
This is reminding me of...
You're not listening. You're going to be excited by this.
I'll ask you in a few minutes.
No, I'm not going to repeat it again.
Because I wasn't listening.
40% 7-year-old grain whiskey.
So you just...
27% single malt, that's 11 years old.
Ooh.
And then 15-year-old single malt is another 27%. Yeah. And the remaining 5% is 26-year-old Irish malt whiskey. So more than half of this whiskey blend is over 11. And almost a third of it is over 15.
So just the depth of the richness, of the oiliness, of these concentrated, saturated, fruity notes. That's about as saturated as I've had in any Irish whiskey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've had it in some really old Highland and Speyside scotches, but from an Irish...
It does taste condensed.
Yes.
And it's ringing at 46%.
Very concentrated.
I think whoever chose these did a great job.
Beautiful, friendly notes, concentrated to a level where it's just, damn, that'll put you on your heels in a good way because you don't have to go hunting. It's just super present, super immediate.
So Chapelgate is the distillery that did this, the company.
Yeah.
They said what they did was they brought in all this Irish whiskey, and then they set about, for 2 years, categorizing it into flavor profiles.
Yeah.
And then using that to create a blend.
So now that you said fruit cocktail, now I'm starting to pick out, like, the peaches.
Maybe even a little grape, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
This is Sugarhouse from Jason Newman.
Yeah.
Jason Newman.
You're saying like you're trying to say something here about Jason Newman. You're trying to allude to the fact that Jason Newman, you magnificent bastard.
I went for the long haul on that one. Okay, this is American Single Malt.
Yeah.
This is made by Sugarhouse Distillery. That's in Utah. And that's a really serious fitting.
Let me do it.
Cork.
Let me do it.
Well, at first I thought it was a screw top.
Let me do it. He can't do it. He can't do it. Let me do it.
Get a grip on it.
Let me do it.
There we go. That's really slick because it's plastic on the top.
Oh yeah, it's
okay. So it's totally the cork, not me. This is kind of cool. This is 100% malted barley.
Wow. Wow.
There's a little bit of that slight piney note.
Well, that piney note, it's so slight that I'm getting that antique store, that wood from the antique store kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's what you get when I get pine.
No, that's not. Because I know whenever it's a strong pine,
Then you get leather.
then I get like gross raw tannery leather.
This is batch 10. The nose is very sweet. Other than that's really malty, not sour is the wrong word. It's cut green grass.
Yeah,
Like from a lawnmower.
this is three in a row where I found brown sugar. This isn't dominant brown sugar. This is sugared antique store wood.
Yeah.
And
This was aged in lightly charred American oak.
I would say the cut grass, I'm getting some of that.
Oh, okay. The taste returns to the grass more than it does to the dark, sweet woods and sugars. It tastes fresh, kind of light and fresh tasting.
Yeah.
So this is
And
pale.
the more you sit with it on the nose, the less of the antique store you get and the more of that freshness that you get.
Yeah. This is pale barley, Vienna barley, and malt. Pale malt, Vienna malt, and honey malt. And by pale, I mean the classic 2-row that's pretty standard in most American malts.
Oh.
Well, most malts. 90% 2-row, 5% Vienna, 5% honey malted barley.
That is nice.
Oh, and they even put the yeast strain they used on here. Mm-hmm. Wow, interesting.
Those are some rich notes. They're not thin, they're not invisible, you don't have to go hunting.
I'm looking for it to turn darker into coffee, but it doesn't quite reach it.
It's not going. It's a 46%
Hey, look, your Spirit Eagle is back.
whiskey. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
That's cool.
What is that?
That is...
That is an actual bird of prey.
It's a puffin.
Is it? Puffin? I don't even know what a puffin is.
They're like Antarctic birds.
Oh, okay. No, that was a white-tipped, white-headed eagle that just went by. Mm-hmm. Are your powers coming back? So I look for my American malts to be a little bit darker than this.
I find...
Which I thought it was going to be, but this is like the space side of American malts.
I find more of that cinnamon and sugar, brown sugar on the taste.
Yeah, me too.
That oakiness is still there. That oakiness is a fairly stable foundation from beginning to end. And then once everything else is gone, you do have the slightest little twinge of barrel oak bitterness. It's slight though. It's not overwhelming. It's nice.
NEWMAN? That's an interest. NEWMAN?
I like that.
That's an interesting one.
I like it.
At first blush...
There's enough there to go exploring, and these are different notes that I often find in what you're saying, American single malt.
Yeah, at first blush, I was not hugely impressed, but by the second slight pour that I just did, it's growing on me.
No, I like
growing
it.
on me.
I like it more than you.
Yes, you do.
I like it more than you.
No, that one could grow on me. I'm fine with it. Well done. Okay, we're into Michigan from Jacek and Eric Sauter.
I'm still savoring.
You ready?
Jason Eric Sauter, you man Gibson. Bastards.
Okay, so this is interesting because this is 100% malt, but it's called
Michigan.
Peanut Butter Toast Malt.
Michigan.
Did you hear what I just said?
Peanut butter toast.
Peanut Butter Toast Malt.
I'm always listening.
Whatever. So it's not peanut butter. There's no peanut butter in this whiskey at all. But what their release said was the people at Pilot Malt House toasted this malt with a high temperature in a kiln that resulted in a caramelization that left a creamy peanut butter and dark toasted whole grain bread note. And then that's what they used to make the malt.
Whole grain bread. Bam. On the nose, absolutely.
It is a dense, dark, whole grain soda bread.
Yeah.
Like, just a
soda bread.
Well, soda bread it doesn't rise.
Okay.
Right, and so it's dense and heavy. The kind of bread that it's in rounds.
Wow, this is changing.
You ever had the bread in rounds and you cut them in long? They're really dense.
There's better bread than soda bread.
No, soda bread's maybe one of my favorites. Dark chocolate and peanut butter on the palate.
It changes the more you sit with it. Again, this changes on the nose. You get used to some of the notes, and it unveils some more. Oh, damn it! I just wanted donation day. I loved it. It was fun because you can go back to back whiskeys, but every once in a while you land on some whiskeys where it's like, man, I just want to sit down and really pick this apart.
That tasted. Wait, did you taste it yet?
I'm still giving it.
It's barley. I mean, it's like hoppy, even though there's no hops in it.
Man, the sunlight's just everywhere.
It's chocolate hops.
You bastard. Chocolate hops.
It's weird.
No, good weird. Good weird.
Yeah. Take a sip of it and you taste chocolate hops.
Whoa.
You see what I mean?
Whoa. Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate hops. Slightly bitter dark chocolate hops.
Did they put hops in this?
No. But it tastes like it.
They put some little hops in it. Little hoppity hop. So, on the finish, I can see what they mean by a little bit of peanut. A little bit of peanut. A little peanut. A little bit of peanut. The whole grain bread is what they say. Yeah, I get the bread.
Yeah, the nose I prefer.
The nose has that whole grain, whole wheat, whatever they said, that bready note. And then as it shows up on the taste, a little bit of peanut on the taste for me, and then sweetness.
It's all chocolate.
It's, yeah, dark, like almost bitter chocolate. So unsugared. It's like a bitter chocolate, and then that hoppiness, man.
It's weird.
It's.
I don't know how they got that, but it's definitely there.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. And then a little bit of peanut. A little bit.
All right, that brings us to the end of donation day.
Surely not.
Yeah.
It wasn't
enough for you?
It wasn't 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 26. All right, so did you have a favorite?
Yeah, JJ Corry.
The JJ Corry?
Yeah.
Oh, the Irish thing?
Yeah.
The Irish thing was amazing.
That was amazing.
And then the Canada thing. The Canada thing was damn respectable.
Yep.
The JJ Corry thing was pretty glorious. And then a couple of these were just funky adventures, man. Did you really own
I'm going to give you Canada.
Oh, Canada. People love it when I sing, by the way. They love it when I sing. Right?
You are the wind.
Hold on, does that make you a little jealous? Because as the professional musician, I have 70 times more people, I counted. 75 times more people asking me to sing.
So jealous. Can't handle it. Overwhelming, really.
You want to do a duet?
Yeah, which song?
What's a popular song that everybody?
Sky by Miss American Pie.
Drove the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye. Which is
Wait a minute.
Same thing.
Wait a minute.
What the hell that makes no sense?
That's a TTV complication.
Here's dividing, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
Steal, may you steal lover's heart.
If you drink,
may you drink with us. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.